The Ducks are red hot on the recruiting trail after landing 5 commits in the last week alone. Huge names hopping on board, such as 5-star offensive lineman Kelvin Banks from Texas. And the thing with this recruiting, everyone it's very short lived. It quickly jumps to what's next. So I want to tackle that in this video. Ducks expecting a decision from 4-star wide receiver Isaiah Sategna this upcoming Sunday. He's going to be announcing July 11th on his birthday, and he is a huge target for the Ducks that they need to get. He has announced that he will be choosing from USC as well as Oregon. So it's a good old-fashioned Pac-12 battle for one of the fastest wideouts in the country, and I want to break down how the Ducks can pull it off. I've talked to Isaiah Sategna multiple times throughout his recruitment, so I feel like I have a pretty decent handle on this. So let's kind of break it down. So Isaiah Sategna is, like I said, one of the fastest wide receivers in the country, and part of that is because he is an elite track sprinter, and he's looking to continue his track career at the next level. That's actually one of the main reasons he decided to narrow it down to Oregon and USC. He told me it's looking like he wants to go to a school that has a top 5 track program every year, and USC and Oregon are just that. So I think the Ducks coaching staff is really going to have to sell him on the dual sport excellence, right? You have back-to-back Pac-12 recruiting titles, as well as back-to-back Pac-12 football championships. So the Ducks are just getting it done on the field as well as the recruiting trail. Recruits want to know that they're going to be playing with really good talent. So the Ducks are going to have to sell him on that dual sport excellence. He got to see the brand new Hayward Field, and that really, really impressed him. He called it the best facility he's ever seen. So that's certainly a good start when you're trying to make that track pitch. And then I want to talk about Brian McClendon, the Ducks wide receiver coach. He's proven that he's one of the best developers of talent in college football. He's put out guys in the league such as Deebo Samuel, Brian Edwards, and that was a while ago. So I think that maybe one of the knocks that people might see is that he hasn't done it at Oregon just yet, right? Juwan Johnson, he's working with the Saints. The last I heard, I'm actually not sure if he's still doing his thing in the NFL at this moment, but he's starting to get these elite recruits, the Troy Franklins, the Dante Thorntons, the ones that everyone's talking about. He's going to have to show that he has a plan in place for Sategna to take his game to the next level. When I was talking to Sategna, the reason he said he wanted someone that could develop him is obviously because the NFL is a dream for just about every college football player, but he said himself that he feels like his talent is still very raw, even though he's one of the best playmakers in the country. He's not one of those guys that has had a bunch of the private workouts and the professional coaches, one-on-one that you see a lot of these skill guys have. So he wants someone that can really hone his skill set to help take him to that next level. So Brian McClendon going to be an essential part of this recruitment if the Ducks are going to pull it off. Also, the Texas pipeline. I feel like that's the hottest topic right now in Oregon football recruiting, and it should be. The Ducks have 5 players currently in the fold right now for this Texas pipeline. You got Stephon Johnson, Landon Hullaby, Nicholas Anderson, another wide receiver from Texas, Kelvin Banks, and we can't forget Cameron Williams as well from Duncanville. So although Sategna is coming out of Fayetteville, he's originally a Texas guy. So I feel like if those Texas guys can get in his ear, you create that sense of comfort, that feeling of home away from home, I think that'll be huge. Just show that they're trying to blow up this Texas pipeline as much as possible. I mean, why wouldn't you? It's one of the most talent-rich states in the entire country when you're looking at football. So I think hammering that point home is going to be really big for the Ducks. And then moving right along, we have NIL, and that's a new part of this recruiting equation that we have to consider. But I think I've said it a couple times now. I feel like Oregon is one of the schools best positioned to benefit off of this new legislation. How is this Oregon staff going to roll out their NIL plan for him? You got to show him, hey, we have these XYZ steps in place to help take you to the next level, to promote you, to promote your brand, help you build a brand. Oregon athletics is all over the place on social media, so you got to show that you have a good following, and just show that you have those people to back him when it comes to making that decision and putting him in the position to profit off his name, image, and likeness. So those are the main points, and then honestly the last point that I want to talk about here is pretty straightforward. We've talked multiple times about how these recruiting wins that Mario Cristobal and his staff are able to take home really come down to just straight up outworking the other schools. How often are you hitting them up? How often are you getting them on the phone, shooting them a FaceTime, getting them on Zoom, sending those little texts in the morning like, hey, have a great day, man, or I've talked to some recruits who are literally on the phone while we're interviewing. He's, oh, Mario Cristobal just texted me like, hey, man, thinking of you. So, you just got to outwork SC for that. And SC has really showed, Clay Helton has really showed that they are, trying to turn that thing around and really show, that USC isn't messing around. So this is going to be a really big Pac-12 recruiting battle. The Ducks need to win it because you don't want to be playing him, every year or every other year, depending on how it works. But certainly a lot of big factors at play for the Ducks, but a lot of them can really go for USC as well, right? People call them wide receiver U to a degree, and you can't really argue with that. They're just pumping out wide receivers left and right, and it's going to be something that the Ducks are going to have to overcome, and just show that Brian McClendon, like I said, has that in place. So looks like this one is going to come down to the very last battle. Let's see who's going to get Isaiah Sategna. Is it going to be USC or is it going to be the Ducks?